So you could just stare at his
No, I
apartment.
Oh my God, Mallory! You should have filed a restraining order.
You know, we have 2 little boys, and I gosh, I know, it makes me cry.
It literally just went poof.
Are you serious?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Couple Things,
With Shawn and Andrew.
a podcast all about couples and the things they go through.
I'm pumped for today. We sit down with Mallory Ervin and Kyle Dimeola. I feel like this is internet's favorite couple.
Yes. I mean, they're our favorite couple. They're our best friends.
Yeah.
I have known Mallory since I was one of her judges at the Miss America pageant where she was runner-up in 2010. She then went on to do the Amazing Race where she came in second with her dad. Mm-hmm. She went back to do the Amazing Race 2 more times. Mm-hmm. Kyle Dimeola, her husband, owned and ran a valet company from Nashville, Tennessee.
But he now works for and with Mallory. And they explain the dynamics of their relationship, how they broke up and then ultimately ended back together, and how that all happened. We love Mallory. I would say that we love Mallory and Kyle.
Absolutely.
But I would say Mallory's one of your best friends.
Yes, she was in our wedding. I was in her wedding. What they now do is they work in the digital world as influencers. Yeah. They're killing it. Please go follow them. Check them out at Mallory Ervin.
Also, check out Mallory's podcast called Living Fully with Mallory Ervin.
And look out for her book coming at the end of next year.
If you guys haven't yet, if you could, please subscribe to this show and rate it on whatever platform you're listening to. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hey, also, we've been including this on screen, but for those of you who are listening, don't forget that you can change the speed of the playback as you're listening or watching. You can go to the settings, or it's right there on the Apple Podcast too. You can just click the 1x, make it 2x. For those of you who are crunched for time, I like to listen to my podcast 2 times speed, but
I like to listen to it half speed.
But anyway, just so you guys know that option is there, check it out. Let's go ahead and jump into this one with Mallory Ervin and Kyle Dimeola.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome, guys. It's only taken way too long to get you on the podcast.
'Tis the things with
I
children.
feel like it was children sick,
mm-hmm.
sick children. Mm-hmm. It was
You guys
one
have been
thing after
through
another.
The ringer in 2020 so
We
far.
really have.
We've battled a lot of illnesses in our household.
How does it work with 2 kids though? Because as soon as someone gets sick, one person, it's like
a merry-go-round is what it is. So like one person gets done with a merry-go-round, and then the next person gets on, and then they have a sickness, and then the next person gets on, and they have a sickness, and that's how it goes. So wait till you have baby number 2. It's just going to be a thing.
Lord.
It's about a month. You can count on at least a month of sickness.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
because
you
I
say?
mean, you can't. It's not like you can quarantine. Everybody's talking about the quarantines these days.
Quarantines and the corona. I know.
I even quarantined myself when I got the flu, and Shepard still got it. So Shepard is our youngest son. But
isn't there maybe
you know
something
that.
to like,
You were there when
especially if you have multiple children, the second one of you gets sick, to just make everyone else sick immediately?
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. What'd you say? Is it like a... Sorry, I was just focused on my gummies and peace and quiet up here while your mom's watching the children downstairs.
Yeah, we're praying for my mom right now. She's watching the 3 children, mm-hmm. Drew, Shepard, and Ford. Mm-hmm. I was saying, shouldn't you, like, as soon as one of you gets sick, just kiss all over everyone and make sure you all get sick immediately?
Oh, that would be a good idea, I guess. Yeah, but the thing is you need someone who's able to be the caretaker.
True.
So, like, whenever I was sick, laying in the bed with flu B, also you hear all of these things from all the doctors and pediatricians saying, don't let your child get around anyone with flu or RSV or anything. So I was really scared. So I quarantined myself, and Kyle was like, I'm probably going to get it, but we can't have it at the same time.
Yeah, because you need one parent.
You need one parent. And it's not like you can be like, hey, babysitter, do you want to come over and expose yourself to the flu to watch my children?
For some reason, none of our babysitters wanted to work. When we had the flu,
we don't know why.
I mean, we had that in Park City. I got sick. I was out for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember, I know.
oh my gosh, couldn't leave the bathroom. And then you took care of Drew the entire day. And it was like 2 days later, we swapped.
Yeah.
It's like, but what would you have done if you would have both had it at the same time?
No idea.
You can't. So you have to do the merry-go-round version of sickness. You take turns, and then you're sick for a whole month, and then you miss seeing your friends and going out in public. And then once you can go out in public, then they shut the public down.
Then it's the corona.
Then it's the corona. So, yeah.
I'm sick of talking about the corona. I'm changing the topic.
Okay.
It's because of you two that we're sitting here in the first place. Do you realize that, right?
Yeah.
Mallory is the reason that we started YouTube and being
Well-
content creators in the first. Kyle, you had nothing to do with it. I'm not going to lie. But Mallory.
I was still parking cars when she was doing the YouTube thing. So.
Wait, do you remember the day that you had to come rescue me?
That was a long time ago.
Yes, in the Gulch.
Yes. I was driving
did.
your truck, Andrew. Mm-hmm. I went to the Gulch to Turnip Truck.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And 2 people blocked me in. And I could not get out with your truck. And I called Mallory, and she's like, "Oh, wait, Kyle will come save you." I was like, "Okay."
And here
Yeah,
Kyle.
It was my valet parking
Your
expertise.
impression of Mallory is hilarious.
Kyle.
What, Kyle?
What, Kyle?
I want to know. I haven't heard this story. The first meeting between you two.
Oh, well, would you like to tell it?
Like when we met?
When the first time you met
At Fido, yeah.
Yeah, it was at Fido. So I was up. That's when I owned my valet company. So in the morning, I'd go to a coffee shop and do like payroll and all of that stuff. And so I went to Fido one day. I've never been there before, ever. And I was like, this place may be good. And so I walk in, and to my right, I see this little blonde in these very short jean cutoff shorts. And I look over there, and she has just dominated a whole plate of pancakes. And so I'm like, okay, I may sit beside her. I kind of like what's going on here. And so I'm sitting down doing my work, and I hear Mallory sneeze. And so I said, "Well, bless you." She's like, "Well, thank you." I said, "Okay." So I go back to doing my work, and then I sneeze. She's like, "Well, bless you." I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you."
that's
and
nice.
then, and then we just started talking and hit it off from there. I think I came over to your place the next night, not like just to kind of hang out. And
Dang! Wow.
yeah.
Moving
No,
quick.
It wasn't.
Well,
No.
it wasn't- yeah, it wasn't
Wow.
Okay, Kyle's got a different version of this.
okay, well, what's your version? I know
Okay,
our first
of all,
date.
he was sitting down first, I think, whenever
No,
I
you
walked in.
were.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Oh, a guy never forgets the first time he sees his girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, back then I was really kind of floating around in life and didn't really know what was going on. I think I'd brought a planner that was probably empty. I was crushing a lot of mimosas in those days.
Yes, I
No
wanted to
more
mention that.
mimosas these days.
Put that in the planner.
And yeah,
Less
I know.
mimosas.
More mimosas at my house. So, I sat down and I was just like aimlessly scribbling stuff down, I'm sure, in a planner. And Kyle, it's the only time I've ever seen him wear glasses. He doesn't wear glasses. I don't know why he had on glasses that day. Watch this be like a whole planned thing, and I find out on this podcast today. Like, he talked to me. It was
Well, no,
like,
I wore these reading glasses because on our timesheets, I had valets write their times in. So I couldn't really read their really bad handwriting.
so glasses helped.
That was a one time you
Yes.
ever wore
Well, when I did the
glasses?
timesheets, I used to wear my spectacles.
And he was using a mechanical pencil, I think. I was like, who does work with pencil?
I'm a big,
An ACT test. And number 2, do you have anything to sharpen this pencil with? Miss?
I'm a big mechanical pencil guy still.
So, and then, so we started, so the bless you, it was a bless you if that was a sneeze kind of thing. And then it's so funny. So I had a girl walked over to me, her name's Nicole. I've only seen her like once since then. She walked over to me and was talking, and I was just having this long conversation. She did Miss America the year after I did it. We were just talking about all those things. And after I talked to her, then I turned back over and I was like talking to Kyle. He's like trying to do work, and we were just talking. And then I was like, I don't know how we got on the subject about my grandpa, like, and our family's bourbon and stuff. And I was like, do you want to try it? And that's why he came over to like try it. And it's
really
like
turn
this
down bourbon.
crafted bourbon that my grandpa made and everything. And I was like, do you like it? And he's like, not really.
Well, it was a flavored one that he did, and he
Yeah,
usually
smoke.
doesn't do flavored.
Smoky.
And I just
Smoky.
I liked his other bourbon better.
That now he tries because we're married with 2 children downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now when we were in the car yesterday, I sneezed. And Ford from the back seat, we have no idea how he learned it, said, "Bless you." So everything just has come
No way.
full circle.
Oh man, that's sweet.
That's so cute.
That's really
Wait,
sweet.
I need you guys to bring it full circle real quick. You went back to Fido.
Oh,
Yes.
you were there.
Yes, we so years. How many years did we date, Mal?
Way too long, Kyle.
I think it's like we dated,
We were ready for that engagement. Me and Shawn both.
What?
and so
Just not. She wasn't as mad as me. I was worse.
Dang, don't drag us.
I mean, you made me read Meaning of Marriage our first year dating, so I was like, oh, it's going to happen anytime.
I want to finish.
3 years in.
well, yeah, Mallory she held my feet to the fire.
Yeah.
We had taken a couple of trips, and she thought it was going to happen. It didn't happen, and so I knew when I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it at Fido, and so I called Shawn. I was like, I'm going to propose to Mallory, and called Mallory's family, and everybody kind of hid in the back, and Mallory thought she was going to Fido for a business meeting. She had no idea, and it was special. It was pretty cool.
It was so good.
I know.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
And I love like her family and like her best friend being there. It was really, I'll never forget it.
Yeah. It was a really
Were there
good
any
day.
pancakes crushed that day or no?
I think I was on the Whole30 that time, and then I immediately got on the wedding diet. So I probably crushed some pancakes. Yeah.
Okay, and then one more story that I want you guys to share is when you saw Kyle for the first time, because you guys took a little break.
We took a little break. So it's so funny, early in relationships in my life, I always thought, like, if you find the person that you're supposed to be with, you're always with them. You don't break up. You don't have like issues and stuff like that, like it's just not meant to be if you break up. Later in life, as I'm older and wiser, I realized that those, bumps and those breaks, those are the things that actually like made our relationship super strong and great. So like we took this pretty long break. I was going through some stuff in my life. This is like 5 or 6 years ago. And so we broke up, and I hadn't seen or talked to Kyle in months. And it was hard to reach me. It was all these things, these factors. Anyway, so Shawn and I were like hanging out every day, going to just back in the life where we used to get to like just go to breakfast.
we
like,
go on 3-mile runs at like 2 a.m.
Do you want to go for a run? Sure. Do you want to go to breakfast? Now it's like we had to schedule this podcast like a long time in advance.
months ago. Yeah.
So we were at this coffee shop called the Red Bicycle, and I was sitting. Oh, we were sitting.
I was with her.
Shawn's been like interwoven into this whole
she's
story.
very
I forgot.
interwoven
Wow.
in so many things. So Shawn was sitting facing me, and I was sitting like facing Shawn, and I could see the cash register. And Kyle has this thing that he does where he like sways all the time. Sorry, I know that was not good for the audio. So he's like, I saw him from the back, and I saw his hands, and I like just knew his hands and I was like, my face
It
just
looked
like dropped.
You saw a ghost.
And I was like, oh, what'd I say? I was like,
He's like, oh my God, it's Kyle. I was like, you're fine.
yeah, you were like,
like, what do you
you're
wanna do?
fine. You look good. It's fine. It's okay. Shawn was like looking at me, and I'm like looking at Shawn, and then I'm just, and then he turns around, and he's like, then he saw the ghost. So then we're like both in kind of ghost mode, and he's was just walking towards me, and then it was just like, hi, Kyle.
Wait, that reaction was because like, oh my gosh, the feelings are like so deep and real, or like, I don't want to see him. Like, which was it?
No, it was, I mean, obviously here we are sitting here today. It was a tough breakup on both of us. Like, I think we both knew that we were meant to be together, but like we also needed that break for a lot of different reasons. And, Kyle had tried to reach out to me, and it was all this conglomeration of things, but like seeing a person like in real life, it was just like it overtook me. It was just.
Now, I'll tell you what was overtaking to me too. I'll never forget seeing your face, but I will also never forget seeing the eye darts Shawn was giving me, just looking at me like, oh, you. And that it's like the best friend eye darts when you break up with your best friend. I was like, hi. Everybody.
And I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Because we had never met before. Because Mallory and I became friends and like started hanging out after you guys had broken up.
In that break, yeah.
And again, when there's heartbreak involved, you always hear like
Yeah.
dramatized stories of whatever. And I was like, oh, so this is Kyle. And again, we're sitting here. You guys are married, have two of the most beautiful children ever. But I will never forget. I don't know if you've even told Kyle this, but when you guys were broken up, how many times did we drive through the freaking Gulch so you could just stare at his apartment?
What?
Oh my God, Mallory! Should have filed a restraining order.
When we drove through the Gulch, I would look up and I would say, "That's where Kyle lives." Thanks, Shawn.
Wow.
Guys.
I think the feelings are always there. She'd be like, oh, it's Kyle's. Is the light on? Is the
We
light on
definitely
somewhere?
walked past Andrew's apartment several times when we couldn't get a hold of
absolutely.
you.
They had nothing to do back in the
Oh
day.
my God.
Nothing to do.
Yeah, we used to like play pranks on you and drive past your. Yeah, it's just a couple. Yeah,
Would you
just
have
a couple
described,
gals having fun.
or too much time in their hands maybe. But would you have described your relationship as volatile back in the day? Because here's what's interesting. You guys both, at this point, the Kyle and Mallory I know now, deal with conflict and uncertainty and all this stuff so well.
Thank
Like,
you. That's
just-
a great compliment.
You laugh it
Yeah.
off, and it's like, so I'm just trying to what was it like back in the day when?
Well, I'm not
that breakup.
sure. Yeah, back in the day, we had the tools to deal with conflict, and being a little older now, it's just we're better at it. We've learned how to communicate with each other. Let's see, the word volatile. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it was just, there were a lot of other factors at play too. I mean, youth is a great thing, but it's also it's a tough time to commit to a partner because you don't even know yourself. I feel like you don't, like Kyle just said, you don't know how to handle actual issues and things. I had issues with other things. Like I was drinking a lot and, a bunch of different things in my life that were also factors. I mean, Kyle too. And it was just, we were different people. And I always say, I'm really grateful that our relationship began in that type of setting because, we've seen each other truly at our worst. We've seen each other at our best. We have been through more together than a lot of people have after 50 years. And I think that's why our relationship is very deep. I always tell people, I feel like everyone's always I married my best friend and we're this and that and we never fight and all those things. I think those are great, but we have a very deep relationship and there's literally nothing that we can't get through. And I just feel very connected to Kyle, on another level, I feel like, but it's simply because we went through the ringer before. Yeah. And yes, I would say parts of it were volatile, and just so different than they are now. But to anybody that's listening to this, that's in one of those relationships that really feels a deep love and connection, but maybe you're butting heads or you just feel like something is not quite right, work on yourself. I'm sure that the other person, if they worked on themselves, and you can come back together and have the best relationship in all the land. So yeah, I think that while it was volatile once, I wouldn't trade that for anything because I think that's why we're where we're at today. So
it's funny. I remember. Well, tell the story of when you first reconnected with Mallory in Nashville.
So, I was one of Mallory's Miss America judges in 2010.
We didn't know each other before.
We didn't, but I knew you as Miss Kentucky.
Is that like a legal asterisk?
Yeah, it's illegal.
Oh yeah,
Legal
actually. We did not know each other before Miss America. But I remember you from the Miss America pageant. You stuck out like a sore thumb in a great way. But I remember she literally skipped across the stage. And I remember seeing you and you're shorter. And I was like, oh, like me.
A lot shorter.
But anyways, it was 3 years later. I had just moved to Nashville. I had nothing to do except wait for Andrew to get out of practice in school.
Post-it note my entire dorm room.
Yeah. I went to
there for that,
Michael's
I
because I
think.
thought I'd become this craft person, which I'm not.
No, you're crafty.
I was looking for stuff in Michael's, and I have this lady come up to me, and she's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, do you sell tassels here?" And I was
Tassels.
like, "I don't." And I like, as I'm turning to her, I'm like, "I don't." And I was like, "Wait, Miss Kentucky? I didn't even know your name." And no joke, you were wearing a pink Miss America hat.
The only time, like the glasses, the only time I've ever worn
Yeah.
that hat.
Yeah.
So fun. That's my sister's
And
hat,
you're
actually.
like, "Shawn Johnson?
And then
What are
it
you doing
was-
in Nashville?"
What are you doing here? You're like, well, I'm making this Iowa thing out of these pieces out of this. I'm going to put it on a wood board, and then I'm going to put strings from tack to tack.
Oh, you did make that though. You
I
made
did.
it.
And you're like,
And
why
then-
do you need tassels? Oh, I'm just hanging them on some antlers on my wall. If that isn't the picture of we need something to do, I don't know what is.
Wait, the moose had a name.
Francis. Yeah,
Francis,
he's not on
yes.
the wall anymore.
I distinctly remember though after that interaction,
Yeah.
you tried to like tweet at Mallory or something,
No.
and that was when you were off
I was
taking
off.
care of yourself.
Yeah.
I called Andrew as soon as I left Michael's. Again, cheesy. We've come full circle. I was like, I think I just met my new best friend. I was like, I just met my new best friend in Nashville.
You were
And then
right.
we, went separate ways for 6 months to a year, and then came back, and we're inseparable. Literally
Ever since. Yeah.
ran 3 miles at midnight.
I can
to the
still
church.
remember like the first day, like we were inseparable to a point of we would eat lunch together, we would
yeah.
work out together, we'd go to the pool together. We're just the best of friends and just doing all kinds
I'm
of
not
things.
gonna lie.
and-
Back in the day, I was like sick of you guys.
Yeah,
Sean's like,
okay.
I'm gonna go
Right
hang out
back
with
at you,
Mallory.
Sean's like, you want to put Post-it notes all over his walls? I'm like, yeah, let's put some tacks in his bed too. Just kidding.
It's funny. 'Cause I guess we've known each other for 7 or 8 years, probably.
Isn't that funny? Like how quickly time passes. It has been like 8
Yeah.
years, 7 or 8 years. That's wild.
I distinctly remember going to a Preds game. I think it was just us three, not you, Kyle. And there's a country musician playing, and you literally turned to us. You're like, all right, should I date him or should I date
Yeah.
Kyle? And I was like,
Had I
date the
dated him?
country musician for sure.
I ended up with you guys.
Yeah, sorry you weren't there, man. But
Yeah, that's all right. It all worked out.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like all the things that you go through in your own life, but all the things you go through in a relationship, like all the phases. And it's not even just the normal things. Like when you get married, this happens. When you have kids, this happens. Like we had so much of a journey. I feel like before we even got engaged. It's so funny. Like I can remember y'all living in that apartment, like when you were still in college and you had
Oh
were
my
off,
gosh,
you had
I
done
forgot about
Celebrity
that. I used to go to
Apprentice or
your pool.
something. And
Yes.
I like Sean, you know me in the pool.
yeah, I know. We would swim in biker shorts for some reason. Never swim in biker shorts, but you were like, here's a pair of my. I was like, okay, I'm going to be sporty Spice today. Swimming. And yeah, we had some good times. Yeah, we had some really good times. And now look, a new phase of life. Shepard and Drew are downstairs playing together in little
crazy.
bouncy
That is
things.
nuts.
That is
It's
wild.
insane.
Isn't it funny?
Okay, Kyle. So you owned a valet business,
Yep,
married Mal.
I did.
You guys got into the influencer world.
Yes.
You sold.
No, I
Just
just
kind of-
dissolved it.
yeah.
Yeah, kind of phased out of it. Gave my private events to other companies and all that good stuff. So.
How did that affect the relationship going from valet company to now working together?
So let me tiptoe on this. It's different. I guess starting my valet company, I started it in my childhood room. So I graduated college and went back to live at home for at least a year, and that's not really good for your dating life.
sounds about right for a UT grad.
Don't be talking about my balls, Andrew. And so I rented out of my parents' room, kind of grew it to the point where we had like 80 valets. And I didn't really have a business degree. It was kind of a simple business, parking cars. So it's kind of learning on the fly.
But it became an amazing business.
It was,
It
yeah,
was
we
big.
did,
It was a big business.
we did pretty
yeah.
good. We did pretty good, and it was very. What people don't tell you about being an entrepreneur, and I feel like it's really glamorized now. It's not that fun. It's a lot of hard work. Like
Yeah.
you are, and a lot of times it's lonely. a lot of times it's stressful. So yeah, that was kind of my experience. And there's a lot of good times as well.
I'll never forget the times we would all go to dinner and you'd have to step out because you would get a call about some kid who was valet.
Yeah.
Drove a
Wrecked a
car off
car.
a cliff or something.
Stressful.
Yeah.
Stressful.
And
yeah.
I remember, Mal and I'd get a call at 3 a.m, something happened, we'd lose a set of keys, and I'd go down and meet with
Oh
the
my gosh.
restaurant and get yelled at by this manager. And like, knowing now, obviously I did not have a healthy work-life balance, which going back now, I know how to kind of manage that and have the mental aspect to kind of set it aside. But so that kind of transitioned into my wife hiring me. So I was like, well, Mal, I'd love to help your business in any way, shape, or form I can. I don't know what I can do. Let me learn how to edit videos. And so while I valeted or worked with the valet company, I'd go and edit Mal's videos, I guess, and kind of learned how to do that. And Mal, worked really hard and was at a point to where she's like, well, come over full time. So I'm like, okay. And I like it better in the sense of there's zero stress. Everything you do
Working
is,
for your wife?
well,
What kind of
you're
setup
right.
you guys
Thank
have?
you.
We're doing pretty good with that, actually.
There's that point to where you have to find that balance. It's like, okay. And to where I was trying to tell Mallory, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. To where I slowly learned, in my business, nobody really handled me with white gloves. I kind of had to learn for myself. So why am I trying to do the same to Mallory? And so that was kind of the light came on to me to where it's like, okay, instead of me thinking my role is some kind of coach, maybe I just need to be a liaison and let her do her thing. If she wants advice, give it when she asks. And if I see a train wreck coming a mile away, maybe just let that train wreck happen and then be there to be like, okay, well, maybe let's try this now at the end. So that was kind of a learning curve for me. But now I feel like we work well together. We kind of know our roles.
We definitely have. We had to figure out different roles. So he took on the video editing, just like he was talking about with himself and his valet company. He taught himself. We started on like iMovie and then upgraded to Final Cut Pro and then like got better cameras and all this stuff. And he would do a lot of the research about the equipment and different things and learned how to edit, learned the ins and outs of YouTube. And that became his job. I can't even remember how to edit a video anymore because he just took that over. And then he started answering business emails. Like he has very specific jobs. And then I do my part. But also like, lately, I feel like life it's truly the best of both worlds that we get. Like, what an awesome thing. We can run a business of this size out of our homes and be stay-at-home parents. It's the best thing in the entire world, the dream, the ideal, I think the goal of a lot of people, but it's very hard to balance it out and manage it. And it's this constant, like, do you get help? Do we do it on our own? Do we, how do we do this to where we can be present parents, but also like run our business well? So I think that has been our latest kind of challenge. And I think we're doing a pretty good job at it. I mean, I've turned down enough brand deals to buy another car this month, but it is what it is. You have to choose your family sometimes.
Go ahead and flex on them, Al.
I
Flex
mean,
on 'em.
it's the
Get
truth. It's the truth.
Yeah, and it's
it's been better, I mean,
and it's not a traditional job per se, but it's 2020. The job market is not traditional now. So I think our biggest thing is going between running a daycare and making content. And
So
it's just
tough.
that juggling act where you're almost like, okay, we need an office so we can get out of the house. We don't have kids crying. Like, we seriously do a podcast in an office with kids crying, dogs running in the house, the babysitter yelling for something. And that's kind of the season we're in now.
yeah.
We're sitting in our podcast studio, which is our guest bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
You're doing
surprised
the
we
same
haven't been
thing.
interrupted yet.
I know.
Yeah.
By the kids.
I keep listening for like screaming or
It's
Yeah.
going great downstairs.
Should we just chill up here for like
Yeah, let's just hang
24
out.
hours or something?
Turn
I was
everything
going to
off.
take a nap. But yeah, but I feel like that's the fun part of it too. I mean, and that's what I was telling Mal. I like doing everything very streamlined. You don't need a huge office. You don't need a huge studio. Let's run this out of our house, keep it as small as possible for as long as possible, and then kind of go from there. That's what I learned from my valet company. I was hiring people. We need an office. And then 2 years later, it's like, oh my God, I wasted so much money on an office. We didn't need an office.
Yeah.
And you just kind of learn as you go. But
it's funny. Kyle, I don't know if you girls know this, but like the way it happens over here, and it seems like same situation, is Shawn will be like, oh, I want to do this, or like whatever. I want letters on the wall. And then that's it. And she leaves all the details and like figuring it out up to me. So
I'm the
Kyle
dreamer, you're the doer.
Kyle and I have had several calls where he's like, hey, so we're trying to do this. You got any idea? I'm like, nah, no idea, man, but we can figure it out.
well, a lot of times you do have an idea. And I've called Andrew a bunch of times for advice because he's kind of, him and Shawn have created just this massive brand. And we're sitting here now, like with all this sit up, I don't know, y'all execute so well.
You execute super well.
And that's the biggest, I feel like that's the biggest part in the influencer world is executing, because everybody's got all these ideas and they're all great. But if you can't execute it and do it well and do it consistently, then you're going to be done in 3 or 4 years.
Well, babe, you do an amazing job at that.
You really do. And Shawn already had a global brand before. So to take on something that was already set and then to modernize it in literally every single way. I mean, you crushed Instagram, now you're crushing podcasts now. Like you're a very valuable asset. Like you already know how I feel about you because I've been your close friend for several years. Clearly, I think a lot of you. But you really do. I say it all the time. Like you're a hugely valuable asset to this brand. I mean, obviously you're very smart because of all of your accolades and such, believe it or not.
Geez, so back in Mallory and I first met, she was traveling to football games down in Starkville, Mississippi while I was at Vandy.
Yep.
I don't know if you knew this. Mallory asked me to marry her.
Oh, yeah.
You did. No, you did. I'll forever.
Okay.
You did. I remember we started our YouTube channel. You came in. We had some studio set up. You're like, oh my gosh, Andrew, this is so nice. You want to just marry me and we can do this?
That offer's still open, Andrew. This setup looks really awesome.
Go on, Andrew.
Good luck.
He's a great girl dad. I got a feeling. Like, I don't know
we'll
yet.
Just be each other's fallback.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not down with that.
This offer better not be open in any of your other podcast guests.
Sorry.
I was gonna say in the timeline of you've been on Amazing Race twice.
Three times.
3 times, my bad. Miss America. You've done other TV shows.
Yeah, a bunch of random things.
When you guys first met, was that after the Miss America and all that stuff?
So I did Miss America in 2010, and we always go back and forth. I think we met in 2013.
Really?
I think we met in 2013.
Oh, gotcha.
I need to do a timeline because I get confused on all of these things. It's like life just years pass so quickly and you forget. But I think it was 2013. Yeah. So I did a 3rd season of Amazing Race when we were together.
Gotcha.
And like another random show. And he was really like ramped up in the valet business. And it's funny because we've had so many different work type relationships, like him owning a big business and me really struggling to find what's next for me, struggling to like find my worth in the job market and in what I really wanted to do. I was super unfulfilled in what I was doing and nothing was consistent. And he's running this huge business and it was very stressful. Like he says, at times it calls in the middle of the night. I mean, he was very committed to that. And then we kind of transitioned, and that's one of the reasons he didn't just sell his company, because we were kind of
Okay, let's take a quick break and hear from the sponsors.
Yeah. I've personally known about the female-owned company Lola for a while now. It's a line of period products made with organic cotton. But now, drum roll please, Lola now additionally offers sex products made with women in mind.
Is that right?
Yeah. The cool thing about Lola is that they make your month a little bit easier. Ladies, we all need that. The subscription is fully customizable. You can choose your mix of products, mix of absorbency, number of boxes, and frequency of delivery. Lola's subscription is super flexible. You can change, skip, or cancel your subscription at any time.
And you know what else? I heard that the Sex by Lola line is available for subscription as well. So you can add that to your period subscription. So everything is conveniently delivered on your ideal schedule.
And I don't need you to go back to the store and buy it for me.
That is great.
It's so true. And their sex line products are made without the irritating chemicals, gynecologist approved, and hypoallergenic, which is so important to us. All the products leave me worry-free about what I'm putting in my body. Give Lola a try. We have a special discount for you guys. For 30% off your first month subscription, visit mylola.com and enter EastFam when you subscribe. That's mylola.com and enter EastFam when you subscribe.
It's also in the links below. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and tell everyone about your favorite shoes, Shawn?
Well, I talk about Rothy's all the time. It's all over my Instagram. I think I literally have 10 pairs. They are my favorite shoes ever, and now they have bags.
You do love these shoes. You love them.
My favorite pair of Rothy shoes are these super cute. They're like leopard. They're their sneakers and they're high tops. I feel like I'm super swaggy in them. Plus, they're carefully crafted with eco-friendly materials like repurposed plastic water bottles and marine plastic. I have a few of their sneaker shoes and I can promise you guys I'm in them as much as I possibly can be. They launch new colors and patterns every few weeks and they're constantly selling out. They're like heaven on your feet.
I love that they're made out of the repurposed plastic water bottles. I just think that's super cool.
Yes. Plus, Rothy's always comes with free shipping and free returns and exchanges. No risk, no worries, no reason not to try. Check out all of the amazing shoes and bags available right now at rothys.com/couple. That's rothys.com, rothys.com/couple. Comfort, style, and sustainability meet to create your new favorites. Head to rothys.com/couple today.
I feel like we're about to have so many boxes on our front doorstep now that you figure out they have bags. So you guys know we have a couple products that we ship from our home. We have the Family Honey, we have the merch line, we do a lot of shipping. And when you're selling online, getting orders out can be a real pain. Like, how do you keep track of who gets what? Which shipping carrier should you use? Are you getting the best rates? It all honestly gets really tricky and overcomplicates the whole process.
It does, but we started using ShipStation.com and it's seriously the fastest, easiest, and most affordable way to manage and ship our orders. Just a few clicks and you'll be managing your orders, printing out labels, and getting your product out fast to keep your customers happy. ShipStation.com makes it so easy.
Shipping was a nightmare before we started using ShipStation, and now it's all in one place and helps us to manage the orders and save us money too.
We get everything out quicker now, and it makes all of you guys happier because we can get stuff to you ASAP.
So right now, a couple things listeners can try ShipStation for free for 60 days when you use offer code EastFam. There's absolutely no risk. You can start your free trial without even entering your credit card info. Just visit ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in EastFam. That's ShipStation.com, then enter offer code EastFam. ShipStation.com. Make ship happen. Also, check the links in the description below. Let's get back to it.
Let's do it.
Unsure there for a while, so he would just make it a little smaller because it was really big. And then he got to the point where he was just doing private events and stuff, and my business kept growing. And then now it's really, our business is what it is now. And I call it our business because even though like I'm the face of a lot of it,
thank goodness.
It really, like only runs with both of us. Yeah. So, and people, it's so funny because like, I remember when I first started doing like especially like Instagram stories and YouTube, and I would like turn the camera on Kyle and he'd be like, what did you ask me again?
Yeah. It was not that bad. There was a learning curve. It wasn't that bad.
Your Instagram is maybe my favorite account to follow.
Thank you,
says
Shawn.
that all the time.
Ever.
Thank you.
I die laughing at everything you post.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
If you aren't following Kyle, go follow Kyle.
He has a funny Instagram.
It took me a little while to get comfortable on camera.
Yeah, but now he's like, everyone that follows me now follows him, not because he's my husband, but because they really like his account and they see who I see that Kyle is. And it's a cool thing, it's really,
I am
funny.
curious with this dynamic because it's something we ask a lot of people we have on the show because it's similar dynamic, but you work from home, your parents from home, your husband and wife from home. How do you separate all of it?
Ooh, that I feel like when you work together, like y'all and us, that's an ongoing, game to set boundaries on work when you can turn it off and be like, look, I'm just dad right now. No more, no less.
He's really good at that, actually.
And I've just learned from not having that, like being really bad at not turning it off for years. And I feel like Mal and I, when worst comes to worst, we are such good friends. We always have that to fall back on.
Yeah.
And we're very lucky to have that. And so we've tried things like, okay, 7:00 work's over every night. And then a week later, something pops up at 8:00 that you've got to do. So it's just, I think being aware of it. And I feel like at night when the kids are in bed, we always watch a little TV now and just kind of zone out and watch some of our shows. And that's, I know we both look forward to that, but it's just kind of taking some time and being able to turn it off, not talk about work, going on a date here or there.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge. It's hard.
And we really have a lot of fun in our house with our children. Like it is stressful and hard, but like we make up songs all day. We sing and dance. We take nature walks. Our day, it's funny because we're running a big business out of our house, but then we're on a nature walk picking a flower out of a neighbor's yard, trespassing. And we also have to step back a lot of times and remember that like so many times, even when you get the things that you want, you can just fall into the stress of things or the forgetting that like that's what you wanted in the first place. And I always say, and I say it on my podcast a lot, and it always resonates with people, like don't let your blessings become your burdens. And I think a lot of people do that with the work that they do or their children. Like you wanted these things for so long, they're amazing spouse. And if you can't control that, if you can't step back when you're feeling a lot of stress and anxiety and you're kind of in a tornado from day to day, then it's all wasted, I feel like. And there are times where we get kind of in the craziness of things and we forget that. But Kyle and I are really good at stepping back and being like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And
I think too, a lot goes to self-awareness and kind of knowing yourself when you know you're getting kind of burnt out or you're tired or stressed, knowing, okay, I need some time to myself. And I think that's important too, because unless you're aware when you know you need that, it's just it'll be too late.
Yeah.
And then bam, like a little rupture or fight or something will happen. It's like, hold on. I can kind of sense myself going here. It's like, baby, I'm going to go see a movie tonight for about 3 hours. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. I need 3 hours. And she's like, okay, cool. See you in a little bit. So things like that kind of help.
Yeah. And as your children get older too, like, so we've got children in our house now. Now I'm not thinking of how do we balance it out with Kyle and how do I get this work done? Now I'm thinking, how is this child seeing me do this? How is this child seeing an argument that we just had? How is it affecting him? Our oldest little boy will be 2 in like a month. And that's something that I'm thinking about now. And that kind of brings in something that I always think about. You know, you have different things that work in different phases of your life. And a lot of people, I think, they try and something worked for them 5 years ago in their relationship or 10 years ago, or something worked for them when they didn't have kids. You've constantly got to evolve that type of stuff. So now that I'm thinking about that, it's so funny. I did on my podcast yesterday, I had a guy named Miles Adcox, and he runs Onsite, which is a local. It's just, he's big in the field of emotional wellness, and he's got a young child, and he talks about how, like, when he and his wife argue, like, he gets on his knees in front of his child. And Kyle and I actually don't argue a lot. So but when we do, it's okay for kids to see that. We're not like a screaming, yelling fight. We're like, why didn't you do the dishes today? Dang it, Kyle. Why didn't you do that laundry, Kyle? Fold my underwear different, Kyle. No, I'm just kidding. You know, stuff like that.
Kyle's like, yeah.
I'm
I'm
nervously
just
laughing.
joking. But it's, you know, it's, he says he gets on his knees in front of his child and he says, that was not about you, just so you know. And they have this little feelings chart to where the child, like when he's feeling a certain way or like he's around something that's going on, he stands on the happy feeling or he stands on the sad feeling, and teaching like emotional intelligence and well-being to your children. It's a whole thing. And it's a thing that I think about a lot now when I'm trying to balance out life and work and a relationship and everything else.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like Kyle said, we have a deep friendship. Like we really have fun together. We laugh all day long, constantly. Anytime I feel like I'm off, Kyle, well, he's kind of, I think, making fun of Tony Robbins. I think Tony Robbins is awesome and all of his, but literally Kyle is like, change your state.
Nah, no, listen, I like Tony Robbins. I
Tony
like
Robbins
his
is
message.
awesome.
But
yeah, he's so good at like getting me out of a stressed state or an overwhelmed state. That tends to be whenever I get off, it's overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with something, and same with him. I know he's burnt out from something that he's doing. I know he needs time. He needs to go grab a dinner, or he needs to go to the movies, or whatever it is that he does. And
invite me sometime, bro. I want to go to see a movie. And just
he will go.
You had boys' night last night.
I know. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I was going to say.
You've mentioned your podcast a couple of times. I want you to talk about the Living Fully mantra that has now become your brand to a large extent.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I birthed this. I've been birthing a lot of things in the last few years, but the Live Fully brand was kind of born out of my own journey with life and my own struggles. I achieved a lot of my ultimate goals at a really young age. I was in my early 20s, and I kind of got to the top of the mountain, and I was like, what the heck? Like, I don't feel right. I felt very empty and scattered. And here I was with everything that I had wanted at that time in my life, and I just didn't feel like my life was full. And then a journey began where, there were a lot of other things at play for me, but a lot of things shifted in my life, and I realized, oh my gosh, I think so many people are living like I was. Like, is this all that there is? Just a rat race of day to day, pleasing other people, not having deep relationships, brushing things under the rug, numbing out with anything that I can numb out with. And I changed my life in such a drastic way, and I didn't even know that was on the other side. And so I did that in my own life, and I started this Instagram account and YouTube channel and all that, and I was showing beauty and fashion and all of this lifestyle content. And then I started just talking about real life and things that I had gone through, and it was like a wildfire. I would get so many more messages and direct messages, and oh my gosh, I had no idea you felt like this. This is how I feel. And I realized that was the thing that people were hungry for and wanting. And I know a lot of people I feel like therapy and wellness and emotional intelligence, it's all kind of a buzz thing right now, and I'm happy to see the culture move in that direction. But I mean, the Live Fully brand for me, it came from my own journey. I've lived totally different lives, 2 totally different lives. And that's what I kind of talk about on the podcast. I have different guests on, whether they be a person that's in the space of emotional wellness, or whether they be an author that I really like, or someone that talks about, manifesting your best life, or someone like my dad who's climbed Mount Everest multiple times and all these mountains at 60 something years old, talking just to people that are truly living their lives in a really big way. And it's my passion project, and Kyle really pushed me in this direction too. Kyle is truly my biggest supporter. I always thought my whole life, like, oh yeah, my parents, they'll always be my number one supporters. And then you get married and you realize when you can have your spouse support you like he supports me, I mean, there's nothing greater than that in the whole world. Like, he's always like, no one will believe in you like as much as I believe in you. No one will ever be a bigger fan of you than me. And I know that he means that. And whenever I forget a lot of things, or whenever I feel like my journey's going just kind of wonky, he's always like strong and steady for me. And that's really great in my life too. That keeps my life super full.
Okay.
Mallory's over here preaching, man.
Yeah.
I asked the question.
Do the thing.
You ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the question we asked?
Yes.
Okay. Who do we start with? Which
Kyle.
one? Kyle. Kyle, you have to go first.
All right.
What's your biggest pet peeve of Mallory?
Oh man, I wish we would have
Biggest
thought these
pet
before.
peeve of Mallory. Let me think. So, try not to throw my wife under the bus on y'all's podcast.
Safe space. Safe space.
So my biggest pet peeve would be when Mallory asked me to do a certain task.
Oh, I knew
And then
this.
while I'm doing that task, she asked me to do 2 more tasks inside that one task. It's like, now hold on. Let me finish what you asked me to do first.
Thank
and
you.
then throw those other 2 at me when I'm done with this.
Batching.
That's my-
This is what
That's
Andrew calls batching.
Batching, yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
That is
let me finish
perfect.
one thing at a
Try
time
being a
before I
woman
never
that
finish
has to do a
anything.
million
Oh my
things
God.
at
We,
once.
that's what I was about to say. It's because I
Anyways.
can do 6 things at once because I think we're wired like that, you know?
Hey, fair pet peeve, fair pet peeve. Okay, Mallory, what's your biggest pet peeve to Kyle?
Oh, Lord, have
Choose
mercy.
your words wisely.
I've heard
So-
laundry, dishes so far. This is just the beginning.
I'm pretty good at those.
Yeah. You know, it's probably a good thing in the end of the day, and it's great that he can like slow things down, but he sometimes moves super slow and peacefully when we need to go really fast.
It's a good thing.
So like for instance, like I'm with a bassinet and I've got 2 diaper bags on my shoulders and I'm trying to walk and he's just sauntering through the hallway with his keys and a smart cup in his hand. It's just a peaceful day in the neighborhood for Kyle. And I know we'll arrive at the same destination, but I'm just like, chop chop.
I'm just not going to join the panic and frenzy.
I'm
just
so
not.
good.
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
so
Because
good.
I've
It's
moved
so
100
good.
miles for like I've been like that for years, and I finally decided I'm done doing that.
Okay, there's
Yeah.
part 2 to this question.
Well,
though.
wait, I have one more pet peeve though, but this
well,
is
hold on. They just asked for
When
one.
he does
now. My God.
this is one of my pet peeves for everyone. When people won't try a food, when I'm like, "Hey, try this," and he's like, "I'm good," and it's like a personal thing for me. I'm like, "But
don't
it's
wanna
really
try.
good, and I like it, and I think you're gonna like it." I'm
That's
good.
my mom to a T.
And I'm
She's
like-
just try it. Just try it. Why don't you try it? Okay, part 2. Kyle,
Okay.
what do you love the most about Mallory?
What do I love? I love when my wife wakes up. It reminds me of Ford, our oldest son. She is so excited and so full of joy for the day. She wakes up with excitement, and I love that. That's something that I truly love about her. And yeah,
That's really sweet. Okay,
Sweet.
Mal.
That's really
and
sweet.
she's very funny.
She is.
Like her and I kind of have a little bit of dark sense of humor every now and then, and I really love that about her.
That's really
The dark
sweet,
side.
Kyle.
He loves your
Yeah,
sick twisted.
I've never heard
Yeah.
of the dark side. That's really sweet. Okay, now my turn.
What do you love most about Kyle?
So I think that a lot of people, when they get married or like before they have a child, everybody doesn't get married before they have a child these days. So it's like before they have a child, you never know what type of parent you think like, oh, they'll be a good parent or maybe they'll have some learning to do, but you never truly know what type of parent they're going to be. And I'm not just saying this because he's my husband, because this is like separate from me. I have never seen a better parent than Kyle. I've never seen, we have 2 little boys, and gosh, I know it makes me cry. And I've truly never seen a parent like Kyle. He is so present and patient, and he is truly like vibrant as a parent, and it's something that I've never seen it before, and it's something that I'm like so grateful for, and it makes me I knew he would be a great husband, but I didn't know that you would be this kind of dad.
Wow.
And that's the best thing in the world. So yeah, that, and he brings me down from like a hurricane almost every day. He really is like my grounding force in so many things that I do. And I don't think that my brand or my business or anything would be where it is today if it weren't for him. So yeah.
I mean, that
That's
was
quite the compliment.
It's so cool having known you for like 5 years, probably at least. You've inspired me in my parenting. I'll never forget. That was like the first birth that I was at was Ford's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And seeing you get rolled out of the room, and you were right there, and there was 20 people in the room, but nothing else mattered besides you three right there. Was like, I will never forget that moment, just because it was so beautiful, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's all they care about is that little new human. So thank you for that.
That's sweet.
And then it's also cool what you guys have done in turning all the trials and tribulations you've both been through. You just speak about it. You've been so thoughtful through it all. And it's like, yeah, you've made mistakes, but you've been thoughtful through it all. And now sharing those experiences has impacted so many lives. And I don't want to say proud, because that doesn't mean much, but it's inspiring to me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Okay, so this is your chance to pimp yourself out. Tell everyone what's coming up, where they can find you, what you're excited about.
Okay. We both have all of the social medias that are just our name. That's a sore subject, though, because I have not changed my last name.
Don't even get me started.
I mean, we did just meet Meta World Peace, who took his wife's name.
Wait, you officially haven't changed your name?
I have not. No.
So Kyle.
So Kyle's is Kyle Dimeola, and mine's Mallory Ervin.
It's funny. Everywhere we go, like on a reservation or something, they always be like, Mr. Ervin, can we get your bags? I'm like, no, Mr. Dimeola. Mr. Dimeola. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So hopefully maybe for my birthday.
Oh, gosh. You always trying to do that.
I don't want her to change her name on anything out there. That would be stupid. That's a horrible business decision. I'm just asking, let's go down to the courthouse.
And change your name.
Maybe just, we're kind of committed to each other now, especially with the kids and all. So maybe it's time. So I'm still holding out on that. We'll see.
So right now, currently, Mallory Ervin, MALLORYERVIN, Kyle Dimeola, KYLEDIMEOLA.
And then your
_
podcast.
not Mallory.
Your podcast?
No, just kidding. My podcast is Living Fully with Mallory Ervin. You can look it up on any platform. Our YouTube channel is just my name, Mallory Ervin. We do a lot of vlogs and just lifestyle type stuff.
And then what's coming out
and then I have a book coming out next year. Yeah, at the end of the year. And
one of the most
really
amazing
excited.
stories you'll ever hear.
Thanks.
It's not my story to share, but I just am so excited for you.
That's really sweet. Thanks, Shawn. That means a lot coming from you. So that, and I have, a website with a lot of different lifestyle content, motivational content, and we've kind of got our irons in every fire that we can have them in, just like you guys. So it's just really cool that you can kind of make a business out of this type of thing. So yeah, literally YouTube, podcast, website, socials, we've kind of got it all. Anything to, we've got a merchandise line too that we do flash sales about 3 or 4 times a year. And
yep.
Did I miss anything?
I think that's about it.
If I were listening, awesome. I would recommend to go start with their Instagram. It's great.
Their Instagrams are amazing.
You'll be endlessly entertained, and we'll link that down below. But Mallory, Kyle, thank you for your time.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for finally being on, guys.
Yeah.
I hope our children are, just still down there.
Well, Ford's on the bulldozer outside. He's good.
That was great.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Man, this setup, it's so nice.